Hello there. Yeah, and I just came back, and apparently instead of playing music, Spotify auto-played to a random other podcast.
Yeah,
But
that's
people
awesome.
have been listening to a different, like a Destiny podcast, waiting to hear this podcast happen.
Do you know what? I can't
apologize.
wait. I cannot wait for whoever runs that podcast to send you a cease and desist.
Yeah.
I am well excited.
I just put on like my music metal video game cover thing and like left it at that. I was like, I'll be back in a few minutes, and it come back to another podcast.
And everyone's like, that's very loud. I apologise if something's loud. Do you know what's loud? Life's loud.
Life is loud.
Life's very fucking loud. And also, let's turn this light down. So yeah, hello, welcome everybody to episode 74.
74.
Is
yeah.
it 74 of the podcast? Yeah, and as always, I'm joined by Lucas. Say hello, Lucas.
Hello, Lucas.
And yeah, we're once again recording this thing on Twitch, so there are people watching this live as well as listening to it after the fact.
There are, yeah.
It's like they're in the past. Like there's people in the past and there's people in the future, and I'm not sure.
And there's people in the current time that
Yeah.
can just see that now, you know, spring has approached and
Yeah.
the sun is just beaming through my blinds.
You can tell that I live in a flat where I'm in a separate room that's all dark, and that Lucas is like got natural light.
Yeah.
Lucas has all that lovely natural light, and I've just got these fucking just like eye beams everywhere.
I mean, I still have a giant like studio light pointing at the wall in front of me.
Yeah, because I've had
Well, actually, like the face, not to the side of me.
Yeah, so I've had pretty decent lighting for the last couple of weeks. That's just because I had like the Fiend just equipment in the house. So don't forget I was using like my professional grade lights, but then I've taken it back to the office because lockdown's done. But are we too loud? Oh, I've just realised no one can hear you. I don't think on the stream.
Oh right.
Oh no,
okay.
they can. Maybe we're just too loud for them.
Maybe yeah.
Maybe. So is the audio?
These
okay?
Yetis are mighty. What's it called sensitive. Like
Right.
I have my gain at 0, and the mic's like half an arm's length away from my mouth as well.
And it still gets you, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, how you been, man? What you been up to?
Today, pretty chill day. Like I freshened myself up. I've cut my hair. I'm halfway through dyeing my hair, so I've bleached it.
Okay. Like I was about to say,
This
it's
is
looking
like
very
The
like
bleached
pastel.
part, but I haven't put colour on it yet. So I'm like gonna probably do that between this and playing some Borderlands later, and then just like took a nice walk with Cade today in the sun, and yeah, it's been fun. And because it's nice and sunny today, I also have a brother's toffee apple cider.
Oh, okay, I'm not having anything to drink, not
Just
for
like,
a while anyway.
Not like that was the thing of that feeling when I'm like, man, it's a nice warm day today. I just feel in that mood for one.
I had that on Monday, and then I had it yesterday. We got like one beer yesterday. It's like, fuck it. I just want like that ice cold beer right out of the fridge. That's really out of the freezer. That's the tech.
Oh, yeah.
You put beer in the freezer and you leave it in there for like an hour, and you can't. Oh, it's the dream. But no drinks for me today. No drinks for me today.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough, yeah. And like that's the thing is, it's just nice and warm.
But you're saying that you got all freshened up. I did not. I did not get freshened up. I had a really busy day today, doing a lot of stuff, and just behind the scenes of the channel, and just buying stuff for the house, trying to get all that sorted out. So I am a sweaty fucking mess, and I apologise to anyone watching like the visual version of this. Like, damn, you're not getting your money's worth.
All those visual listeners out there.
Yeah, you are not getting top tier Karl Smallwood right now. So that's an apology.
No. I mean, that's the thing though, isn't it? Of like most of lockdown, we're not getting anyone at like top tier levels, are we?
No, I'm not an Instagram influencer. I can't be asked about life. But yeah, that's like. I guess we can get into that. Just we're a year into lockdown now. I feel like people have settled into just the idea of like this is it.
Yeah.
This is how life is now, and it has been incredible to see just how many people refuse to accept that this is the reality that we live in now, and get annoyed when confronted by the reality of like lockdown when it's been a fucking year. Because as mentioned, I've started moving stuff back to the factory and offices.
Okay, yeah.
And that means I've moved all the camera back. So if anyone's been watching the videos on the channel, you'll notice that they're all recorded in my bedroom in front of a concrete wall with a green screen literally duct taped to a wall.
Yeah.
And that's it.
The glorious green screen.
The glorious green screen, yes. And I moved everything back to the offices now because the country's starting to open back up again, and I feel a bit more secure heading back there because I know that my office where I'm based has taken a lot of precautions to make sure everything stays safe. And I'm also I'm in a private office that no one else can get to as it is.
Yeah.
And I posted letting people know, and the first thing I got was, oh, I can't wait for Lucas and the guys to get back to the office. And Lucas, as someone who is, Lucas, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not excited about that idea yet. I am excited about the prospect in the future to be able
Yes.
to be back in the office, but not at this current time because, yeah, I'm like hours away, and I think this is like the tweet I respond to, isn't it? Of like,
Yes.
look, I am not vaccinated.
No one
Fuck,
is
am I
yet.
getting on a train for 2 hours
Yep.
to go and like record something that we can do, like, albeit less fun remotely, but we can still do it remotely.
Yeah. But it's just that idea of people seeing it and going, oh, so are you all going to be like going to the same space again anytime soon? Just thinking, you live in the same country we do. You know that's not an option that we have. Why the fuck would you think it is because we make YouTube videos?
And then like, it's just that weird thing, isn't it? Of surely as well, if like people know what is going on in the world, like vaccinations are rolling out.
Yes.
Which means that a lot of people working from home, like us, especially like relatively younger people. We're not young, but we're younger.
Not 18 to 25. I'm right now 25 to 30. It's,
oh god, yeah.
Gets me right there.
But yeah, like, we're low on the priority list of vaccinations, which is fine.
Yeah, people who need them, like, people who are more at risk, which is that thing of the instant we put it out, oh, so you're going to be straight back to the office then, and like, think about it, say, what world do you live in where you think we're going to be back to normal straight away?
Mm.
And it's like similar to when we very first went into lockdown, and we announced, like, as just a channel, just, oh yeah, we're going to be recording remotely from now on, and we're going to put like a little disclaimer at the top of the screen. Just because even to this day, we still have people thinking we're recording the videos in person.
Yeah.
Because, we just sync up audio and it sounds like someone is off camera. It's like, no, we are, every video with the exception of a couple where I'm wearing a mask were recorded remotely via Discord. When we first announced that they were going to do that, there was like a not insignificant number of people, which I mean more than one. Because I'm like, how the... Because I'm baffled it was even a thing. Of reaching out to myself, you, Nisha, and then just like emailing the channel to say, look, I watch your videos for escapism. I don't want to be reminded of the pandemic while watching them. You need to not do this. It's like, the fuck? Like, we're living in it too. The fuck else are we supposed to do? Do you want us to risk our lives for your entertainment?
And I know that, like, okay, yeah, there are some comments going like, I don't like that disclaimer being up. And it's like, right, yeah, but I also get annoyed on the opposite end when I see a YouTube video being made where there's people interacting all together in an office.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you doing about this?
Yeah.
Like, are you all just coming in and not giving a shit about lockdown? Because it looks like that, and you've made no other explanation of how you are actually approaching this COVID.
Or like, do you all live in the same house or something like that? But it's not been.
Yeah, we don't know. But the fact that a lot of people aren't transparent about it really gets me annoyed, because they could potentially be breaking the rules for making stupid YouTube videos.
And even if they're not, the fact that you can look at it and think that they are, just it sends out a bad message. It's like, oh, if these people can annoy it, so can we. And it's just been really amazing to see how salty people still are about that a year later. Like I made like a channel post saying, oh yeah, I'm back in the office now. Thanks everyone who stuck with us for this. Videos will probably be, the ones we're recording now probably going up in a month or two. Cheers to everyone who stuck with us, during this like slight deviation from the original format. Also, fuck you to anyone not wearing a mask. Like a year later, people are still mad about having to wear a mask. It's like, how are you still salty about it? How do you still think it's something people are doing just to piss you off?
Yeah, and it's so strange because like, just as you say, it's been a whole year, and some people still haven't gotten their heads around it, and some people are still annoyed at the fact that we seemingly just following the rules. And I understand that, yeah, there is a deviation in quality, but it's just a necessity of part of like this shit show of the past year.
Yeah, like think about all the advice, and I'm using like advice, big air quotes. People on the video can see this, like people at home listening after the fact, they can't. Doing big old air quotes around that of the advice we got from people saying, oh, sorry, we got a whole bunch of advice from people watching the channel that was just fucking horrendous in nature and was actively like either dangerous for us to do or just fucking impossible. For example, on your channel, we're playing through Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. We got advice
were.
that when you announced, that we're going to stop that recording short because we don't want to record it remotely. We want to experience the end of the game together. What was the advice you got, Lucas?
I mean, a lot of the advice was either just go and play it with Karl, or it was to send Karl my fucking Switch to let him finish it.
In the post.
In the post, yeah, my valuable and relatively fragile item that costs hundreds of quid, and it's like, yeah, just send it to Karl.
All the which is, that's the advice that's bad, but then the advice that was outright impossible was, why don't you just travel through and just go to Karl's house, because that's illegal. That's against
We're
the
literally not
fucking
allowed to do that.
So, oh no, but you're allowed to do it for work. It's like if there's no other option. There is another option.
That's the bit that they leave out, isn't it? Yeah, you're allowed to do it for business purposes if you can't operate as a business in another way.
Yeah, and that's what we got in regards to the channel. It's like, oh, well, this is your business. This is what you do for a living. Why can't people come to the office? Like, because we can record remotely, which is far safer. And also, I don't want Lucas and Nisha and stuff to risk their life to make fact videos.
Yeah.
It's insane. But,
it really is.
And you couldn't explain that to people.
No.
And every time we try to, someone will get mad. It's like, but why don't you do insert thing that's really fucking convoluted and stupid and would cost us a shit ton of money, time, or effort to do? And
that's it, isn't it? Really, of just because it would waste our time, effort, and money. Like,
it's similar to like before lockdown, where I mentioned offhand. Yeah, there's a series of videos I wanted to do for a while, and it would be me just teaching people the recipes I've mentioned offhand on the channel. Like, stuff the correct way to make beans on toast, how I make a cup of tea, how to make cheese on a plate, which I mentioned in a video, how to make like Karl's carbs, my takeaway, and just like dumb little things like that as just bonus content for my personal channel. And then I follow that up by saying, but we can't, because I'm aware there's stories out there of people tracking down where YouTubers live based on reflections and just the general layout of their house. And rather than look at that and go, man, that fucking sucks, it's a shame that that's something you actively have to plan for and think about when trying to make content. They saw that and went, why don't you rent out another place to make those videos?
I forgot about that. I remember a couple of people being, we'll just cover up everything in your apartment.
Which is, again, just another fucking ridiculous solution, which I'm not going to do for the sake of a joke video, but people are so mad that they're not going to get that video. So why don't you just insert a get stupid, ridiculous, convoluted thing? Like with the green screen. Speaking of the green screen, we talked about that a while ago, didn't we? A guy legit sent me a message of, why don't you put your mattress against the wall? I went, because I don't want to fucking move my mattress every time I film. Why not? Because it's where I sleep.
I don't want to have to physically alter my bedroom every day I wake up and need to record something.
And the guy couldn't understand why I wouldn't do that, and got mad when I told him to fuck off. It's like, but all I'm telling you to do is move your entire bedroom around. I would. It's like, well, I'm not you, then go and make your videos and do that then. It's ridiculous. It's so... And there's probably a word for it. Presumably it's a German word to describe like that level of just cluelessness. But but simultaneously the confidence. I guess it's close to mansplaining, isn't it?
It's close to, yeah.
Yeah, it's similar. It's the same kind of energy as mansplaining of I'm going to give you advice on something you do for a living, despite having no insider or expert knowledge on it.
Yeah, I love when the amount of times that you get comments like that and you press people like, well, what's your experience with that? And it's like, well, I don't have any experience, but it was just advice. Fuck off then, please.
Yeah, all the advice I get about lighting. And I've had multiple people send me messages advising me on how to light the videos better. And for those videos that I recorded in my bedroom. And it's not that we're limited by equipment. We have the equipment. Sorry, we're not limited by equipment, we're limited by space.
Yeah.
So it's not equipment, it's not knowledge, it's space that limits us, because there is only so much space I have in my house available to record. But the amount of people, why don't you just get reflectors and put them on all the different surfaces? Because I've got to live in my house as well. I have to live in my fucking house.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's not just space, it's also having a living space rather than just a fucking office for a bedroom.
And that's one of the reasons I really was excited to move my stuff back to the office. I didn't realize how just detrimental to my mental health it was to wake up and be confronted by my job the instant I woke up. So I got a guy here. Why is there soundproofing foam in front of Karl? Because to proof the sound. Like, why else would there be?
Like, Karl's sitting very close to a wall where the noise would echo off it.
Like, here's a pro tip: if you don't understand something but it looks like it's there, just like presume it's there for a reason.
I mean, all it is that Karl had a bit of echo and put soundproofing around his mic and went, "Oh, that helps the problem."
It helps it just a little bit. Oddly enough, there's soundproofing behind me as well. There's soundproofing like behind where the microphone is, because that's something that you have to do when you record content. There's soundproofing on top of the microphone as well, though. Got this little thing here. Got a little pop filter on it as well.
Yeah.
And people probably hear that really nice, making ASMR now.
I don't even know anymore with the OBS settings that we've got whether people will the Spotify version. They probably will be able to, but yeah, I'm not sure because OBS does all those nice extra little filters automatically for you.
They do, but I just love that one though. Why do you have soundproofing in front of you to absorb sound? It exists for one purpose. It's got
we started this podcast saying how sensitive those Yeti microphones are, man.
They are, but people could hear you from the other room. No, it wasn't they could hear you had a podcast, didn't you? Because I heard that.
Oh,
one.
Yeah.
That
was a separate situation.
I thought I could hear Lucas from the other room, but it must have been like your headphones on the floor being picked up by a microphone.
Yeah, my headphones were resting on the mic arm that I've got.
Ah, okay.
So there must have been speaking very quietly over to Karl.
And that's something that sometimes my headphones will pick up the sound of my headphones with your audio. So every now and again, if you listen to the podcast, you might hear Lucas being doubled. That's because it's the sound of him over my headphones being picked up by my microphone. That's how fucking sensitive these microphones are.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we could replace them for
even more expensive
better quality, but it's going to be hundreds of quid for a mic to improve the quality slightly.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? I'm not spending that money.
So I might do at some point when I've got the spare money to throw around, but there's other things I need to improve, like my general office equipment and my desk and things first. It's not the priority.
Yeah, I've got things that are higher up on the list than buying a new microphone to replace the already very expensive microphone I bought a year ago.
And, speaking of which, I did see online there's these desks that some people have been getting.
Okay.
They're not just stand-up desks, but they're stand-up electronically controlled stand-up desks. So the entire desk rises up when you just press a little button on the control panel.
Do you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like something that's going to fucking break in a year and becomes useless. Because if something like that breaks, it's not going to break when it's fully extended. It's going to break when it's halfway up. So it's at an awkward angle that you can never use.
But man, I'm not going to spend that amount of money on desks as hundreds and hundreds of quid. But yeah, I would love that shit of just, you know what, you get a stand-up desk, and even then, there's no effort involved as well. It's not like you've got to grab it and yank it up and all that shit.
Yeah, I still have people thinking that I use a stand-up desk. It's like, no, I just sit up straight.
Yeah.
It's baffling to think. It's like, no,
I think as well it might be the camera angle that you're at.
Yeah, because I do have a chair. People can see it. It's just I have I don't have a headrest, because who the fuck uses a headrest on a chair?
Hell yeah.
Just sit up straight.
Right here, baby.
I'm too tall to have a headrest anyway. Every time I've ever sat down.
I'm over half a foot smaller than you, so I sit at a reasonable level on this chair where it actually helps me. You'd be right up there.
Yeah, even I've got proper big office chairs at the office, and whenever I sit in them, the top of my head goes off the back of them. So when I sit in cars, my head always hits the back of the headrest, and I'm always terrified if we crash a car, because my head's gonna fly off.
Well, your neck would proper whiplash back, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or when I sit on roller coasters and stuff, and I just see it, and the thing doesn't come all the way down. I'm like, oh god, I hate this. If this thing crashes, I'm fucking done. I'm flying straight out.
That's a lot. That's one thing that obviously the common thing, especially with men, is I want to be taller. And a lot of the time, tall people don't point out that being tall is a pain in the ass a lot of the time.
Because nothing is designed for someone who's taller than the average, whereas someone who's smaller than the average, they can always use stuff that's designed for someone taller. It's a lot harder to use something designed for someone smaller than you are.
And I'm 5'7", so a little bit below average height, but that just means that I never have to deal with this thing's too fucking small for me. Yeah, it's it feels most things feel designed for people around my height.
Yeah, for example, even something like a phone, like this, my entire hand fits around the phone, so it's awkward to hold. It's designed to be held in a really specific way, and I can't hold it. And like controllers for like, you know, I play with a fucking Joy-Con specifically because it looks really funny.
Yeah.
Like baths, beds, my feet dangle off the edge of my bed because it's impossible to get a mattress that is made for someone my size unless I get the next size up in mattress, like an Emperor mattress, which is like too wide for my purposes. You can't get longer mattresses. It's like stuff like getting jeans. If I get jeans that fit, because I'm quite thin as well, so if I try and get jeans with like longer legs, they always have like fucking wider waists. It's like, no. Or t-shirts, especially awkward. Because every medium t-shirt that I get is either too short or too long, or the arms are fucking massive and they pop out here, and like I've got fucking like clothes hanger still in there.
Oh god, must be great.
And that's the thing. It's like you can. Like someone's made a point here. Like trousers are the worst. So yeah, if it's too long, like you can always like you can like you do your roll ups, like you do your 80s roll up tech. If it's too short, you can't add length to it.
Yeah. And I have that problem with like a lot of my jeans. I have very short legs, so when I get jeans, a lot of the time at the bottom, I just have to like scrunch them up at the bottom.
Just those turn ups.
I refuse the turn ups because I used to do that in high school, and I look back and go, that is even worse than like just them being completely scrunched at the bottom of your shoes.
Have you ever seen though, like it's now fashion, or they're trying to make it fashion, of the exaggerated turn ups? And you're getting exaggerated, so you're getting turn ups that are like 4 or 5 inches in length.
Oh my god!
Like the exaggerated turn ups, man. I see that and I go, fashion is fashion just left. It's left me in the dust.
The thing is, generation to generation, I think everyone just looks that way of like generation older than us is going, why the fuck are people wearing skinny jeans? Like, what the hell? And then we go, no, skinny jeans are stylish, and then the Gen Zers are all like, well, no, skinny jeans are stupid. Why?
Yeah, and they're all wearing like super baggy jeans. I'm waiting for Jinko jeans to come back, but never forget when skinny jeans were first introduced, fashion magazines ripped them apart because they were first introduced on a catwalk.
Oh, okay.
So and this is one of the things I learned when I was writing an article about it. It's like, why is like catwalk fashion so just flamboyant? It's like, that was something I was genuinely interested in, so I picked that article to write because that was one of the suggested topics. And I was like, yeah, why the fuck do you look at like catwalks and they look ridiculous? And part of it is it's free advertising basically, because if you wanted to pay for an advertising campaign for an upcoming clothing line or a specific company, that's going to cost you a fortune. You make one of your models wear a stupid outfit, that's going to get free column inches all day. So it's far cheaper than to like just have one catwalk model wear one stupid outfit than pay for an entire advertising campaign. Also, they're deliberately exaggerated, but they'll be toned down later for actual wearable fashion.
Yeah.
And that was an example used for like skinny jeans, where they had models on the catwalk wearing like ultra skinny, like spray on skinny jeans, and then they tone them down for the next part of fashion. But then it's weird to think that now spray on skinny, they eventually became a thing anyway.
They did, yeah.
But they were widely mocked at the time. Like they were like, look at these stupid fucking clothes worn by these idiot models.
I get with like paint on skinny jeans why some people would look at that and go, that's ridiculous. But generally speaking, like most skinny jeans are just, they feel like quite well fitted. They're not like stuck to your legs or anything like that.
I always wear skinny jeans. You can confirm I always wear skinny jeans. Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I can confirm that.
I do squats.
For the most part, like I wear either skinny jeans or like skinnier jeans still, ripped skinnier jeans and stuff like that. I tend to prefer like the fitted feel of them.
Yeah, because I still remember like getting that off someone. It's like the classic thing of like, why do you wear skinny jeans? I just looked at this older guy because I do squats. So I do squats. It's like same as like, oh, why do you wear like fitted clothing? Because I want my clothes to fit nicely. Why would I not want my clothes to feel like they fit and they were made for me?
Yeah, I do love that. But yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Of like, just every generation trying to get away from the last by radically changing fashion. And I know that like Gen Z as well, for women, it's like, oh no, like bangs and side fringes and stuff is stupid. It's all about curtains now.
That's the thing though. It's the easiest. It's one of the easiest ways to rebel is via clothing. Yeah, because it's like it's like clothing for the most part is disposable and very easy to change.
Yeah,
like it's not say something like a tattoo or a piercing. Like you can put on just like wildly flamboyant clothing as a way to rebel, but you can always take it off.
Mhm.
And it is interesting to see, like, just I am now at that age where I'm an old man, like, in terms of fashion. And I,
Mm.
like, when I went out today, I went out for a walk, and just the amount of people I'm seeing wearing this, I was like, I fucking won't be caught dead in that. I won't be caught dead walking around. Then I think to myself, like, the shit I must have worn when I was that age. People say the same thing.
Mhm.
And it's like, it goes in roundabouts.
It does, yeah.
But
And I just find it so funny to like sit in this situation and go, oh, there is a generation younger than us, like changing their fashion style now.
yeah,
And
like they're defining what culture is now. It's not. It's no longer
they
in our
are,
hands.
but it's just really funny to think like, but I'm not mad about that. But I know plenty of people a generation older than me that were
Of course, yeah.
super mad about the way I dress.
The fact we even have that level of self-awareness about it shows more growth.
It does, yeah.
But in that vein, Lucas, what is like a item of clothing or a style of clothing or something like that was fashionable when we were younger that you're glad is dead and it should never make a comeback? Because I'm just gonna go straight out there and say dropped crotch jeans.
Oh,
Do you remember
yeah.
the drop crotch jeans that made it like you're wearing a nappy or you've shit yourself? I'm
That
glad
was
they're
bad.
dead.
Yeah.
I fucking hated them. They pissed me off like to no end every time I saw someone wearing them. Or the beanies where they had the bobble on top, because the beanies that didn't fit. Because they made it an absolute arseache to find a beanie to fit.
Yeah, and I don't actually like beanies that are fully just like squeezed onto your head
I
with
do.
no like um movement in them at all. But yeah, I actually, speaking of beanies, that's one thing I do think looks really stupid. Like, you know, like the really like short
Oh,
beanies
I've
with
seen
the turn up on them.
the fisherman beanies.
Is that what it? Fisherman
Because
beanies?
it's what
Yeah,
fishermen used to wear, yeah.
I just as a fisherman, wear them all you want. As a fashion item, I think they look fucking ridiculous.
The ones that roll up over your ears, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they look stupid.
And it's just like it
Again,
looks like half a hat is on your
yeah.
head.
And again, it's making it super annoying to try and find hats.
Yeah.
Because I just like to wear like a classic standard beanie, and I know every time I wear that in a video, I'll get a comment on that video saying that you do not suit that hat. And it's like, it's not about suiting the hat, it's the fact I've got long fucking hair and I'm trying to keep it out of my eyes. Because I can show this off, like, again, for the video watchers, like, look, I cut my hair, but I'm not going to cut the fringe, because I know I've seen too many videos of girls who cut their fringe. Have you ever seen the ones where they do this, and they cut it, and then they let go, realise that because they were looking down, they've pulled it too far down, and it goes up, and it's just like, and they just have like the face drop as they realise, oh god, I just fucked up my hair.
Yeah, and that was literally like, the trouble experience I had today cutting my own hair. And I was there in the mirror like, come on, like, you can't fuck this up at all. And my fringe when I was like pulling it down was again about like right in the middle of my eyes, and was just like sitting there going, ooh. And I cut it slightly shorter than I would have liked, but it still looks as good as when I've come out of the fucking barbers and they've done the opposite of what I fucking asked them to.
Yes.
So I don't care.
But it's that thing of like, when I just see it and go, oh, you don't suit that hat, Karl. It's like, I just, one, fuck you. Two, like, what else am I supposed to do? We've, like, again, that thing of like people giving us shit in videos. Well, I guess it's just me they're giving the shit to because I'm the only one who's visible. Of oh, you look a bit dishevelled, or your hair looks crap, or you look like just anything that's not like deviating from the norm. So you're not looking very well. It's like, what reality do you live in? Do you think I'm not experiencing the same things you are in lockdown?
Yeah. And like, we're all having a shit time, and the 1 hour or 15 minutes or 10 hours you see us on a screen every week, like, that is a small glimpse into our life. It's not all of our life. Like, not long ago, I just sat down in the middle of the day and like my kitchen and was just like, I'm fucking done. I just had a moment where I was like, this has just got to me too fucking much.
Oh,
and
man.
like, people don't see that on a
Twitch
stream
of course,
or anything,
and you wouldn't want to stream if you were in that mood. But I have had that moment, like just sometimes where you just stand and you just find yourself and you realise you've been stood there for like 40 minutes. You're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
I have that all the time. Yeah,
and it's just like, everyone's having a shit time. You don't need to comment on a video to make us feel even fucking worse about ourselves.
But it is fascinating in that way of like, what world or what reality do they think we live in? Because like, clearly how the world's working because you exist in it. Why do you think we, like, a YouTuber should be held to a higher standard, or that they're not experiencing the same things as you are? And I'd love to like pick someone's brains about that.
Well, it's like, obviously I'm not referring to us as one, but it's like, quote unquote, like celebrity culture, and I think a lot of people have that like idea in their head of YouTubers and Twitch streamers being like pseudo celebrity kind of status.
Maybe,
And
yeah.
I don't think that at all, and I'm not trying to put that upon us, as I said, but a lot of the time it is just, yeah, well, let's bash these like famous people to make ourselves feel better. And like
Maybe.
you see it a lot with, as I say, like celebrities and just bringing them down for what reason?
Like not having makeup on that day. It's like, oh, they're wearing loose fitting clothing. It's like, oh, they didn't have a chance to put the makeup on this morning. It's like they're going for a fucking coffee run.
Yeah, you ambushed them in a fucking car park for Starbucks while they were making a 5-minute coffee run to go back home. Like, leave them be.
Then again, though, you also have the ones where like celebrities and stuff get caught out, not expecting it, and it actually endears you to them more. Like the one of Ben Affleck, where you see where he dropped his Dunkin' Donuts order. Did you see that? Like,
see it,
no, like a paparazzo got a photo of him just outside his house picking up a Dunkin' Donuts order that had been left outside his house, and he drops it.
Yeah.
And it's just they get the image, but they got the exact moment that he fell over, and they just got like you see his face, and he's just that thing that he's not even going down to reach to grab it because he knows.
Yeah.
Like he knows it's gone, but he's just got to watch it happen. He's just there like. And it's just, yeah, do you know what, Ben Affleck, we've all fucking been there.
We have. I did see, like, not long ago, just perusing through Reddit, just, like, a video of a pizza delivery guy, like, putting it on the side to knock on the door.
And it falls over.
As he reaches, it starts to fall, but then he catches the pizza half in midair and is, like, fisting it back into the box. Like, no. It's like, oh, but it is done, mate.
But you've got to respect him for trying. It's like that legendary gif of that little girl trying to do the Coke and Mentos thing. And she tries to put the lid back on, but the Coke just see, the fact she's still trying is adorable because you're not getting that lid on.
Oh, God. I absolutely love it. Like, you've got to just accept it.
It's just happening. It's like, I'm a really big fan of accidental Renaissance or modern Renaissance. Like it's two different subreddits, but basically it's just photos of just people in random situations where they accidentally like Renaissance photos. And my favourite is the drunk woman on a subway, and she's like passed out like that, and she's got a pizza that's all on the floor. And people have done it and like put it in like a proper classical art style. And it's just the accidental. It's just. Or people have got like a photo of Lindsay Lohan passed out after a drug binge, and it's like she has the exact same look on her face as like a fucking old Italian masters painting. And it's like, so fucking good.
I've not heard of that one.
That's accidental Renaissance is really good. It's like accidental like Fibonacci. Or whatever it is, it's like where people look and they put like the Fibonacci spiral over something to show it's perfect. From like a ratio perspective, and they always get like the Fibonacci bear, where it's a bear that's super round and it perfectly fits the fucking. It's so good.
Oh, excellent. Just
people taking modern life and be like, it's super artwork.
Yeah, like this is modern art right here.
It is. It's so fucking funny. It cracks me up every time when I see shit like that.
The round bear.
There's no better than those fucking perfectly round bears, but just people just not having a good time, but they have a photo taken at the exact moment it happens. Like it's just it's so fucking relatable. Like that one of like the woman who's passed out with just a pizza on it. It's like, oh God, you see it and you're like, oh, it gets you right there in the soul, doesn't it?
We've all had just that one moment in life, haven't we?
Is that when you're walking home? Not walking home, when you're walking about after a night out, like a Friday or a Saturday or something like that, and you just look on the floor and you see an entire kebab just turned upside down on the floor, and you just go, someone had a rough night.
Well, I had that moment like a few years back, and I was surprising Jenna with like a massive Costco cake.
Oh no!
And and so I like managed to go out and like get somebody with a Costco card to come with us and help get the cake and everything, and got it back up to like a flat, and we had friends round and such, and I got it through the door, and then everyone was like, oh my God, I'm like really surprised you haven't dropped that. And as I was putting it on the table, it went There's
nothing you can do, is there? There's just no saving it.
It was just that moment of like, I can't believe you haven't dropped it. Oh yeah, I know, it's great. Oh god,
And
no.
it's like, you look at it and you go, there's no fun. It'd be sadder if I tried to pick it up.
Well, like the thing is, it was still cake. It's fine. Just like the design on the top got a bit smushed and stuff. But
Oh, man.
it's more the feeling of dropping it
Yes.
than the actual like. Oh, the cake stayed in the box and it was all fine. It didn't get dirtied or anything. But it's like, man, I was so close to success.
Yeah, I've told you before, haven't I? The guy I saw who had like one of those crates of beer that has like 30 bottles of beer in it, and he was getting to his car and he just dropped it on the floor in the car park. And I just like locked eyes with him and went, and he just got in his car and drove off. He looked at it and went, like, it's not even worth getting one out. He just drove off and left it.
I had like half of my bottles of cider smashed on me once when we walked all the way back from Asda, like 25-minute walk, and got to the front door and the handles on the bag snapped off. And it was like, I was like, and I just like knelt down on the doorstep, like, and then like Jeddah just looks in the bag. He's like, a couple of them are still not broken.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Have you ever had though, like shampoo explode in a bag?
Yeah,
Have you ever had
in my
that?
suitcase
It's
on holiday.
oh no, not on holiday. At least was it on your way there as well?
On the way there.
Oh no, it's at least on the way back you chuck it on the wash. Oh, that's the worst.
I had to just put everything in the bath and spray it down with the shower.
Oh man, because I still remember that when I went to Dubai a couple of years ago, and the guy I went with, just China Airways or China Airlines, just lost his fucking bag.
Oh.
And he was really pissed off because it's Dubai and Dubai's fucking hot.
Yeah.
And he only had the clothes he'd been in. It's a 40-hour flight he took. So he had like a carry-on bag with like, some stuff in it, but it's like they lost his bag. And he's like, I've been wearing the same clothes for 4 fucking days in Dubai.
I thought that was great.
And I remember though when he called him up and he's like, I'm gonna get my fucking money back. I'm gonna do it. And he called him up and he finally got through to someone who spoke English. He speaks Chinese but not good enough to yell. Like the way he says it, I speak Chinese, but when I get angry, I can't formulate my words better. So I want to speak to someone. He finally got to talk to someone in English. They went, don't worry, sir. We'll pay to get you a new bag. How much did your bag cost? Went, my bag cost £600. And they're like, what? I went, yeah, it cost £600. I want a new bag. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. We'll send you a voucher to get a new bag for £600. Can you send a receipt? Like, yes, I can. I'll buy a new one, and then you can you can reimburse me. Like, okay, sir, okay. So he just went to like a store in Dubai and got the most expensive suitcase he could find.
Oh, that's great.
And just ended up getting like that. And then he went to a shop and just bought a shit ton of new clothes from Dubai, like top whack prices, and made him pay for them all. He was like, no, fuck you. But just that thing though, my bag cost £600. Like, no. And I was there like, no, you fucking didn't. No, it didn't. It's like
you're fucking bringing a Gucci bag on holiday, mate.
Then if you go to Dubai, it's expected. Like a lot of people there do have very expensive stuff, and that's why, like he said, while I'm in Dubai, how expensive do you think? And they went, oh yeah, fuck, we've lost a really expensive bag because you knew they're not going to find it.
No.
I thought, oh man, that was just. I think that was the holiday. Like we nearly got arrested because he nearly killed a fucking sheikh. Because you're not allowed to fly drones in certain parts of Dubai, and he didn't know this. And he was just flying a drone out of the way where we were staying in the window. I just remember we opened the window, and he's got his drone, and he flew it straight out the window, not realising, and shit himself, thinking, oh, my drone's going to pop because it's a drone, it's safe flying.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, it stays floating. So he floated his drone around a bit, and then there was a knock on the door like 5 minutes later. What the fuck is that? And it was just like a member of the like fucking Dubai either police force, or I think they have like people who basically just like don't do this people. And they'll be like, are you flying a drone? Yes. Do not fly a drone. That's protected airspace. What do you mean? The sheikh has like said that this is where he flies his helicopter sometimes. So if the sheikh's flying his helicopter, you're not fucking, no one else is allowed to go. Oh god, no, we didn't.
Man.
Oh.
And that's the thing in Dubai, I can fucking believe that would be a thing. Just, oh yeah, one of the sheikhs just like flies his airplane past it, flies his helicopter past it.
Yeah, and you can sometimes see him out the window. Like he sometimes just flies past, and he flies his own helicopter.
God, of course.
But just that fucking, just when his drone flew out the window. Because we thought he'd gone. Because when you see it just fly out the window, you think that's gone. But obviously it's a drone, so it floated. But we shit ourselves. We thought we just flown a drone out like 10 stories. We're going to hit someone. Oh, it was awful.
I absolutely love all those videos of the drone's perspective of drone owners trying to rescue the drones from disaster.
They're the best ones.
They're great.
Did you see that one where it was like an Amazon drone and someone just threw a fucking brick at it? And they caught it on the camera. Oh. Those videos are incredible. Where you see it and you see the person like the famous one, the one in the lake, isn't it? And the guy like jumps into the lake to get it.
Just wading through the water
to try and get it before it lands in the lake. Yeah. Or my other favourite drone videos are the ones of people getting drones on Christmas Day. It's a very specific genre of video, and it is guys who are there with a girlfriend who doesn't give a shit. Filming either on Christmas morning or Boxing Day. And it's a brand new drone. You can always see it's like, you know, really snowy about. And it's being filmed by the girlfriend who's presumably like wearing like they're just their pajamas and they're really annoyed. And just there's one, and it pisses me off that I'll not be able to find it, but just the drone's flying, it goes really high, and you hear the woman's voice off camera. Well, it's going pretty high, isn't it? And the guy's like, yeah, it's got a really good range. She goes, what's the range on that thing? He's like, I don't know. He goes, are you going to bring it back? And he goes, it's not responding anymore. And you just see it just keep going. And it just flies. And the camera just zooms in. But it's like, you know, like that's like $400-500 just gone.
Yeah.
That's just fucking gone. But it's just that you see it flying, it just keeps going. Just keeps going. And it's like, oh, are you going to bring it back? I can't.
It's like, oh no.
It's just so fucking funny. It's like all those videos of people with like brand new remote control airplanes. And you know, and again, it's a very specific genre of video, and it's someone in a field on a really grainy camera, like from like five, and you know they drove all the way out there, and it's like they're there with their kids or their missus, and they don't want to be there, and you know the entire trip. Trust me, it'll be worth it when we see it fly, and you just see it go, just instantly, or like eagles attacking them or something.
It always they always pivot into the ground at like Mach 3, don't they?
They always do that thing because then the propeller will get caught on a reed or some grass, and it'll flip it over and it'll snap the wing. Yeah. It's such a specific genre of it, but it cracks me up every time I see them.
God,
it's like people dropping iPhones.
Yeah,
like Joe, like people taking selfies, and it's like you see they just fall on the floor.
And just seeing like the ones where it's like the kids are filming themselves like messing about with the phone, and then drop it in like the toilet or something, and you just watch their face like, oh no, what have I done?
I like that one. This is another great one. If people out there can find it, I really recommend they do it. It's someone filming like football chants, or maybe at a stadium with a band, and everyone's going way, like throwing their hands forward, and you just see a guy and his phone's in his hand filming it, and someone slaps his hand, and the phone goes whoa, like 80 fucking rows down. He's not finding that.
I don't even remember if like we filmed it or in my head. I can just remember it that well. But just going to like a local football match around here, and like this was like years back now, but we went, and our mate had been pestering us to all just go, because he was like, look, it's just a local football club, like it costs like £8 to get in, and we can all just go grab a beer and have a laugh. Eventually we all gave in and was like, we'll do it this one time. We'll go. And then the guy was sat directly in front of somebody else that had brought a drum to bang on the entire match. And it just in my head, all I can see is like me looking to my right and like panning over and just seeing his face as he's like, oh.
Because it's the person in front of him just has the drum the entire time, yeah.
And it's just like the drum was like essentially at the back of his head and just like doof, 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 doof. And it, like he was just dead inside.
And it was just the entire match.
The entire match, yeah.
It's like when I went to I was in America, and I went to a hockey game, I think it was. And there was just a guy in front who completely painted his face with the team's colours. And he was massively overweight, and all he did the entire time was scream and bang on the plastic.
God, no.
And you're not supposed to bang on the plastic, but this guy very clearly had like seats, because every time the security guard came over, he just yelled at them and they walked away.
Oh.
Yeah. And that was the entire game. And the thing as well, because like there was a few seats empty, he would just keep walking up and down the seats,
Oh no,
screaming
no.
and trying to tell everyone to get up on their feet and stuff like that if they weren't cheering. So he's like, "No, you're not cheering." Like, it's like,
It's like, okay, all right. I guess this is how it's gonna be. It's like,
But just that one, I can see that. Yeah, the people who took a fucking drum. And
I understand you want to enjoy your watching experience, but so do the other 50 people right next to you.
like in your peripheral, yes.
Yeah.
He's alright to like do it a little bit maybe, but just the entire fucking game.
But can you imagine like going to one of those football matches when it was like the vuvuzelas?
Oh, I kind of wish that I had, just so I can know I've experienced what purgatory feels like. Because that's what I imagine purgatory is. Just like because purgatory is like it's not supposed to just be awful. It's just this constant nothingness. I want that. I want like that's what purgatory probably is to me. It's a football match with vuvuzelas.
If anyone doesn't know what a vuvuzela are, like they're just a loud like horn.
Yes.
But in one of the World Cups, I think it's like the South Africa World Cup, they were like the official like
instrument
item to bring into the arena for some god knows reason.
It's the inventor of the vuvuzela is South African.
Ah, okay.
And they thought, oh, let's promote South African culture by giving everyone vuvuzelas.
And then the entire 90 minutes experience was just
to the point where you could hear it over the commentary. And it was that thing where they started banning them for like I think it was every other football stadium in the world banned them in the aftermath of the World Cup because it was so fucking bad. But I remember watching just a game and all you heard was, I looked at my mate and went, what the fuck? We thought his TV was broke. And so we realised. It was incredible.
Like, if it's that loud, viewing it at home, and as you say, it would go over the commentary and everything, I can't imagine sitting in the middle of that. Just for 90 minutes. So then
it's longer than 90 minutes.
Like,
because
the extra time.
Yeah, there's the entire lead up to the match, and then there's afterwards trying to get out. It was incredible. And I love it as well because I think the guy who invented the vuvuzela was really mad because they don't. It's a beautiful instrument. It makes such a wonderful sound. It's like, no, it fucking doesn't, mate. It's awful.
It just makes the one note as well.
It's great. I love it.
Or at least the ones in the World Cup did.
I still remember though they were giving them out for free with like cans of Coke and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had them like when we'd watch World Cup matches at people's houses. Like one guy brought a vuvuzela and he immediately said, "Get out." So if you blow on it once, you're getting out. We don't want it.
Yeah, the thing that happened with like one of my cousins, he was just like a few years younger than me, and just was like, "Oh yeah, this is cool, isn't it?" And just did it once, and every adult just like stopped talking and looks. It's like, no,
like, you can do that once.
No,
yeah. Do it when we score a goal, and that's it.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, I would love to do that. I want just to experience it.
I don't know what's worse, like the vuvuzelas or the weird like eon clackers that they have, like the two giant just air tubes of plastic, like.
I think the vuvuzela's worse, especially in like a post-COVID world, where you just think that it's basically people just blowing fucking virus and diseases into the air. I do like the clackers though because they distract your view as well. Yeah,
they do. They get right in the way of everyone.
It's like when you go out on St. Paddy's Day, isn't it? And it's like those awful fucking giant Guinness hats that I never see anybody selling, but I see everybody wearing.
That might be. I remember one of my mates getting in a bar. Like a lot of the time, they give them out as like drinking challenges.
Okay.
Like prizes for drinking challenges. I don't think they sell them. I think it's like, down 5 Guinness and you get a Guinness hat.
And then you see someone wearing it the entire fucking night.
Mm-hmm. It's like their pride and joy because they can drink Guinness.
And I have legit seen people have fist fights over those things.
Oh god.
Because obviously it's never wear a hat in a nightclub. That's a pro tip for anyone out there who's not been to a nightclub yet or is thinking of going to one after lockdown. Never, ever wear a hat in a nightclub unless you are prepared for someone to snatch it off your head and then never give it back or start a fight with you when you ask for your clothes back.
And I I have quite a lot of trilbies and like nicer ones. And I made the mistake of wearing one with like my nice shirt and waistcoat out to a nightclub once and spent the entire night just experiencing that of people running up,
Snatching
grabbing my
off your
hat and thinking it's fucking hilarious, and then I'm like, okay, that's the next 20 minutes getting it back off this guy. I'll put it back on my head, and then another person's gonna take it off my head. It was an awful night.
Never ever wear a hat to a nightclub
unless you don't give a shit about the hat getting lost.
Yeah,
because it will. I think I've had that quite a bit with like when we've done like fancy dress nights out as well, and like
if it's like
Felix night or that
shit.
cat, you can literally see it. Any Twitch viewers can see it hanging on my little lightsaber there.
That's the thing.
But like, just spent the entire night as well. Like, I'm just gonna not wear the hat
because it's just gonna get snatched off your head.
I just held it in my hands and danced with it in my hands.
Yeah, because someone's going to snatch it off your head, and then you're not getting it back.
Yeah.
Then the person will get aggressive when you say, "Can I have my clothes back?" And it's like, what? It's like, really?
No, it's just a hat, mate. It's like the hat that I fucking paid for. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll still though like when that happened to I think a mate of mine. I want to say it was the same guy I went to Dubai with, but like someone just snatched a hat off his head, so he just walked up and just fucking took their pint. He just took the pint and downed it off them. And the person just like, "What the fuck you doing?" And he's like, he just didn't look, just straight up, just like they took it off his head. So he walked over and just grabbed the pint out of the hand and walked off. And they brought his hat back later to him. He's like, "That's because he's the guy who told me like it's again it's one of those moments that I want to be there just to see what happened." And he used to do judo, and his judo instructor was one of the people who trained the English judo squad, and he trained with basically the Olympic judo squad for the UK. For England, sorry. And he went to a pub one evening, and they were all wearing their jackets because they'd all been training. So they all went out for a drink afterwards, and there was just a group of lads nearby, and one of them was just giving them guff for all wearing the same jackets. So, "Oh, what, you're doing with the same jackets?" and all that sort of thing. Yeah. And just making just various homophobic slurs to them. And the instructor, when he was getting a pint, like, so he left his jacket on the back of his chair. Like, someone's like asked, like, the guy grabbed his arm. It's a bad idea. He's holding a pint. Just drags him down. And my mate told me, he said all he saw was the instructor do was just lean down, whisper in the guy's ear, point towards their table, and then walk away. And the guy left the pub like 30 seconds later. And what he said is just something along the lines of, they were asking, what the fuck's written on, why are you one of those like shitty jackets? And he just said, "Read the back of one." And the guy like stood up, looked, and saw, "Oh, Olympic judo squad," and just left.
And it's like, yeah, don't want to deal with this. Yeah. I mean, I think still one of my favourite stories is those that was it like wrestlers or pro fighters or whatever that they're like black belts who got attacked for cross-dressing during a stag do.
Yeah.
And they just it turns out, we're all like international champions and black belts, and we just kick the shit out of them.
It was like 5 MMA fighters on a stag do, and someone decided to give them shit for being dressed like women.
Yeah.
So there's another one where a story in America where a guy tried to carjack a van, not realizing that the van was carrying just award-winning black belt karate masters on their way to a tournament. So he kidnapped the van, told everyone to get out at like knife point, and it's like, you're asking 6 fucking black belts.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Good idea, mate.
It's just like they look back at him, it's like, this is a bad idea, mate. This is not going to go well.
You basically just try to hijack the van driven by the Ninja Turtles. What are you doing? You fucking fool.
Incredible. I do want to see that.
Well, that's me. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that moment, just to see the look on the guy's face when he realised he's been giving shit to like the entire Olympic judo squad.
Yeah. Oh god, I love moments like that.
Just why would you do it? Like, why?
Like, clearly though, if a bunch of people walk in to wherever you are, a bar or whatever it is, and are all wearing the exact same jacket or outfit,
yes,
you know they're probably part of some fucking club.
Probably part of a club, yeah.
Like, they're not all just wearing the same jacket because it's a nice jacket.
That'd be cool though. I feel that'd be a good night out. All go out wearing the same outfit.
Like, if they're all wearing a jacket just for the sake of it, they're probably in a fucking gang. Like, they're in a 50s gang.
Yeah, it's like you just try to pick on either the Jets or the Sharks.
Or the T-Birds.
Oh man, no, don't mess with them. Speaking of which, though, speaking of all wearing the same outfit and football, have you ever seen that great clip of when an entire football team dyed their hair white for a bet? Like they lost a
No.
bet or something like that, and then the commentary for it,
No.
because you have an entire squad of people with the same haircut, bright white hair, and it's like you can hear the commentator not knowing who they are. Because it's just everyone on the squad's wearing the exact same outfit, and like they're all wearing
Yeah.
the same shirt, and they all got the same haircut, and they can't tell the difference between them.
Oh man, that's incredible.
It was incredible. I thought it was so fucking funny.
Yeah, especially with footballers, it's really easy to identify them from like the numbers on the back of their shirts and the ridiculous like fucking haircuts they have.
Yeah.
And this is like, for all those American people out there, not American football, we all know they wear helmets.
Yes, but soccer.
Yeah.
That's just a good one. That's a good video out there. So let's go watch that one. Just they all walk out when it's that same outfit. It's like that Trigger Happy TV sketch where he gets like 20 people all to dress like palace guards. Do you know, they include with the big bearskin hats, and he buys an entire row of cinema seats, and they all sit in a row. And that clip is amazing to go see, because you see people sat behind them just stand up and leave as they realise it's the entire crowd. Because like, it's mostly full cinema, the film's about to start, and then the entire row comes in all wearing the hats. Because they book out the entire row. It's so fucking good.
Oh god! And then what do you do? Because like, okay, if there's one guy with a big ridiculous hat on, it's like take that fucking hat off. You're gonna turn around to an entire row of people like take these hats off.
Oh, but it's just the fact that you see them all just sit down at the same time, and people just stand up and leave.
I don't blame them.
It's presumably to complain, because it's England and people always fucking complain about everything. But oh god, that was hilarious. Just duh. Because you just see it, and you can't do anything but laugh when you see something like that ridiculous. Like, for fuck's sake.
It's like, oh man. And like, obviously, well, to be fair, I was gonna say, obviously, you know that they're probably getting the money back, but I don't know with something like Trigger Happy TV.
Yeah,
so fuck you.
That was all done, like, that's one of those very early. People don't know we're talking about Trigger Happy TV. Americans might not be aware of it. It's like a very early hidden camera prank show. Like, just done by one guy. It was all one guy. And he had a couple of recurring bits. And it's one of those shows that I like to describe it as existing before streaming. Because it's one of those shows, I tried watching a couple episodes a while ago and went, oh, they did not expect you to watch these back to back.
No.
Because when you watch them back to back, you realise it's the exact same skits, just with different outfits or location.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've seen one episode, you've seen all, but there's a couple of like recurring bits in it that were very, very funny. And I think still hold up today. Like my favourite just recurring gag is people dressed like animals kicking the shit out of each other. Do you remember those ones?
Not really.
Where it'd be people like in giant dog costumes.
Oh, right.
And they just do things like, there'd be a guy just dressed like a Dalmatian, just sat reading the newspaper, and then two other Dalmatians go up and just kick the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And there's a great quote from Dom Jolie saying, here's a fun fact for you. No matter how brutal and violent those beatdowns were, nobody ever helped. Nobody ever... initially, they were quite funny. Mm-hmm. Because you can just see like, oh, it's just like two people in like dog costumes on fight. Like, we started getting like baseball bats and stuff. Obviously, the guy's padded underneath the costume.
Yeah.
People were watching.
It looks like someone's just beating the shit out of him.
And nobody ever tried to help any of them. Like, no one ever. Most people just stopped and laughed.
I mean, that's the thing is, you have to take into context they're in giant fucking dog outfits.
Yes.
Like, it does look like it's
ridiculous.
A prank or a show or something like that. Obviously, people weren't expecting hidden camera prank shows back then.
Yes, that is one of the very earliest ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like really early. Yeah. But you've got to think in your head something's going on because they're all in giant dog outfits.
Yeah. People may have assumed it was a skit. Like, this is before like skits and like pranks on the public were all that common. Obviously, we'd had stuff like You've Been Framed or like Beatles About and stuff like that prior to that, or Candid Camera. But like, this was like the new wave of that. This is pre-Jackass even.
Because this is like same with like Balls of Steel and stuff like that. Like that era.
You had Candid Camera and Just for Laughs and stuff who've always been around. But then there was like the new wave, like stuff like Jackass and Trigger Happy TV, and some of those I contend as fucking hilarious. Like Air Horn Golf remains one of the most top tier pieces of comedy ever filmed because it's so fucking funny. Because it's so simple.
Yeah,
it's so simple a prospect of just blow an air horn every time a guy tries to swing a golf club. And it's great. And it's funny every single time.
And is it Dom as well that did the giant phone one?
The giant phone, yes.
Yeah, and like just bringing out like a 2 foot tall giant phone and just screaming at it.
Yeah.
But public, like on the train or whatever.
Yeah, and the joke was, and it really dates the content, because that was just at the start of mobile phones being a thing. And the joke was that it's a giant Nokia 3210, and you'd get a phone call, and he'd play it through a speaker, so you just hear, and it was that classic like like that old classic Nokia thing, and you'd always see before he picked up the giant phone, a few people looked to see if it was their phone, and then he pulls out.
Everyone up the same fucking ringtone.
It's like the iPhone thing. If you play the iPhone ringtone, you'll see at least a few people turn around and try to pick up their phone, but then he just picks up a giant 2 foot tall phone and just screams into it.
Did you ever do that? Like, when I was younger, I tried this of like being on a bus with like iPhone, and you just have like the alert noise.
Yes.
On your phone, and you just sit there, like, just chill out and just look around and just press the alert noise, and half of the bus just goes, oh,
yeah.
Ooh.
I used to do it in college all the time.
Yeah.
I got the alert noise on my Android, and I'd just play it in class all the time. It'd always be the thing of like, put your phones away. I've got Androids there. Oh, okay. It's not. I know it's not you, Karl. There we go. But I remember I did that once. Like the teacher just went, "Well, no, it's not you, Karl. So no, you got no mates." Like, oh, damn it.
Oh,
dickhead.
no.
Do you know those teachers who just like chat shit? It's like, yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah. We had one of those teachers who would like always, act friendly to us, and this was GCSE, so we were like 15, 16. So obviously you wouldn't act the same way around like 11-year-olds, but he would, be like, "Look, I know you're a bit older. We can have a bit of a joke in class." Until like one of the kids presumably went home and told their parents what jokes we say, and then he got a complaint. And it's like, oh, fuck off. He's just trying to be a nice teacher.
He's just trying. He's trying to give you the respect of that. Or he's trying to treat you as like, a young adult.
Yeah, exactly.
And talk to you not so much as a student, but as like, a potential peer.
Yeah, and that was clearly what he was trying to do. And then you just get one parent going like, no, you will like teach my children, not try to be mates with them.
It's like, how dare you be personable?
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh God. And like he's still a lovely guy, and he was one of my favourite teachers, and made me interested in something I didn't give a shit about. So clearly he was doing it right.
What subject is it he taught?
It was like design and technology.
Ah, okay, DT.
So I was specifically doing like product design.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just something like I wasn't that into, but we had to pick one of them because we were like a technology college.
You just picked that one.
So we had to pick one of them, and I didn't want to do like electronics.
See, I remember our old DT teacher, Mr. Jutler. He was Sikh, and he was one of the nicest guys in the school. And I remember once he got in trouble because he punched a student. And I was like, there's no fucking way he punched a student. There's no way Mr. Jutler would punch a student. And his parents came in, and they played holy hell up. And they were fucking ranting and raving, like, how dare someone have done that? And then it turns out that the student had knocked his turban off.
Oh.
Like they'd run up and they'd knocked his turban off his head, and he'd turn around and he'd punch them. And then apparently that's the school just went, yeah, and I think when it it filtered down to school level, when people found out what happened, it's like you can report him for punching your son, who's like 16 at this point, but we're prepared to put it through as a hate crime and give him a fucking criminal record. And I think they just agree, okay, no charges will be filed against either party.
Yeah.
But, don't knock a Sikh guy's like fucking turban off. What dick move.
Respect other people's culture, you fucking jackasses.
But it's like, apparently as well, it was a fucking clean hit.
I'd fucking hope
It was a clean hit from Mr. Jutler, so well played him. And I told you about we had teachers who cheated on each other. One Mr. Mickey, Miss Mickey and Mr. Disney, which I always thought was pretty funny. Oh, it was great. I love like teachers like that. There's a friend of mine who told me he had like a math teacher or something like, no, he had a music teacher like Mr. Toon, like a woodworking teacher called Mr. Wood, and then a math teacher called Mr. Piano. And I was like, I always thought it was just Mr. Piano. So you're going to be a teacher, be a fucking music teacher with a name like that.
Yeah.
There's only one thing you can teach, and you call Mr. fucking Piano.
Yeah, and that's the saxophone, Karl.
Just do it. No, it's like, what was the weirdest name you had for a teacher in your school? The one that sticks out in your head? Because the one for me is we had a teacher, I shit you not, called Miss Fish.
Oh god.
And she fucking quit. And I feel so bad talk, but you go into like a fucking working class public school that's rough as fuck, and you've got a name like Miss Fish, you better have like a fucking like some thick skin or a sense of humour.
Yeah, our form teacher for a few years was called Miss McDonald, and obviously for like a bunch of kids that was just low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Just every fucking day, you could just see it. Like, oh, I'm fed up. And then she got married, and unsurprisingly, like took the husband's name. And it's like, I'm not fucking Miss McDonald anymore. Like, stop it.
Oh, that was so rough. But I just remember the fucking Miss Fish. Just the day she came in, as soon as I saw that on my what my class was today, new teacher Miss Fish.
Oh, that's gonna be rough.
Because all that was is every time her name was on a board anywhere, someone would put a Y at the end. So it was Miss Fishy. That's all it was. It's all it was. But everyone just Miss Fishy. All it takes.
Yeah, I think there was another teacher called like Miss Forest. And there was a lot of just like, bush jokes going on. It's like, oh.
The thing is, I'm Smallwood, so I know.
Yeah.
That's why I feel for people with those names. But at the same time, like I've dealt with it for years. So like the only thing you can do that, especially with kids or people with like the mental, like the capacity of children, like people on the internet, is you just have to heard it all before.
Yeah.
You have to like roll
with
with
all
it.
the comments I get about my hair, I'm just like, yeah. Okay.
So we had another teacher like Mr. Clifford. A lot of people thought, Clifford the big red dog.
Yeah.
And he just did not give a fuck. He just likes, because obviously, not obviously, but like Clifford the big red dog, like show for kids. And it's teenagers that were in that school, like high school. So whenever someone came in and was like, Miss Clifford's a big red dog, and he goes, so do you still watch cartoons then? and he'd just always shut him up straight away.
Like, do you still watch CBeebies? It's like, I've got a younger brother.
Yeah, it's like I thought someone your age would watch something a bit more like advanced than a children's show, and he just stopped the joke straight away.
Like, should have just been there. Like, mate, do you not watch Dragon Ball? Like, get on that.
Yeah,
that shit's awesome.
Dragon Ball's so sick. It's the coolest.
Dragon Ball's still so sick, and I love like just thinking back to being told when I was a kid, like, yeah, all those stupid stuff like Dragon Ball, just get over it. Like, you won't care about that in a couple of years, and I'm here. Like nearly 30 years old, like watching Dragon Ball every day, like yeah.
The people who did though, whenever you see them or bump into them, do you have that unfortunate thing? I'm not sure if you ever experienced this. Did you ever bump into anyone from high school who was like that in a nightclub, and just have them try and talk to you like they were your best mate because they recognise you from high school, and you're just like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I remember like back in uni, I bumped into someone from high school. And he was like, oh, yeah, I remember you. You're the one who could, like, grow a beard when we were, like, 14. I don't remember your name, but I remember you could grow a beard. I was like, we had French class for 5 years, and you were an asshole to me.
It's like, why would
fuck you.
Happens all the time.
It was like, I remember you being a massive prick, and I remember you, like, the moment I saw you in that nightclub, and I avoided him for a good couple of hours, and then he just, like, appeared right behind me in the bar and was like, oh, look, it's you.
It's like, I have no interest in ever speaking to you again.
Yeah, I tried to avoid you in high school. I'm especially trying to avoid you on a night out.
It's like, oh, man. That's why I think like one of the movies that like hits home the hardest now for me is World's End.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the older I get, the more that film really speaks to me. Of like, because we've all known. And the weird part is people say I remind them of the main character because I drink. It's like, no, because that guy is stuck in the past. And I think we've all met that person who's like, they cannot move past that one period where they peaked when they were quite young, whether it be high school, college, or what have you. And those people are so fucking depressing to talk to. Yeah. And they're so depressing to talk to on nights out when they're still trying to, like, you know, relive those glory days or pretend that, you know, like they still act like everyone else. It's like, oh yeah, that was the best time. I was like, mate, like, I was 16 and I had no fucking money and I got picked on in school every fucking day. I've got a job now. Why would I think about all that shit? Why would I care?
Yeah. And like, I know people might be sitting here thinking, oh, but Karl or Lucas tell a lot of stories from like their past. Are they not doing the same? It's like it's not the same because we're sitting there going, oh, they were fun, but like, isn't life good now?
Yes.
Aren't we just sitting here talking shit on the internet for a living? Like, this is great.
Yeah.
Whereas those people are going, no, life is shit now. Like, I loved it when we were 17 and I was the king of the fucking world.
And the older they get, the sadder it becomes. And I've met many people who just every time I like bump into them, like, you know, like friends of friends and stuff, and all they ever talk about is the last time we all hung out and drank.
Mm-hmm.
And like whenever we're like, you know, in those group situations where everyone's like, you know, sharing things they've done over the last year, it's like people are going on holiday, people are getting new jobs, people like, you know, like going back to university, like learning new skills and all that stuff, and all they want to talk about is the last time we went on a night out. That's the only stories they have from like the past year since we've seen them, is the stuff that we all experience together, because it's the only thing they do.
Yeah.
Is sit on their ass and just wait for the next night out.
It's one of those. We all enjoy those moments, and it's not as if they aren't fun. But you've got to also, you know, try and appreciate what's going on around you in between those times, and make most of your life rather than just sitting there waiting for the next night out.
And I'll say that there's nothing, and not that there are things sadder than it, but there's like, to me, there's nothing that immediately springs to mind as being just sadder than the people who live for the weekend.
Oh, right, yeah.
And like, have you ever encountered people like that?
Like, I get when, you know, if you're working like a crappy job and the only thing you've got is like the time outside of work. And
yeah, do you want to just clarify as well for people maybe don't know what living for the weekend is? Like weekend warriors, weekend ballers.
Just kind of like people who literally just, the moment Monday hits, it's like, well, I can't wait for like Saturday night, and I'm going to just not give a shit about my entire week and just pray for the next night out what we can have on Saturday.
Yeah, the people who the only thing they seemingly look forward to or discuss, talk about, or show any interest or excitement about is just getting absolutely fucking annihilated on a Friday or a Saturday, and that's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm partial to a night out every now and again, but the idea that the only thing they look forward to is the one night of the week where they can drink so much they forget everything else. It's like, oh god, that sounds depressing. That's just like alcoholism, just stretched out over a couple more days.
Well, surely it's like condensed.
No,
it's condensed into one night.
It's condensed into one night, but it's stretched out over 7 days. Because like, it's not like you're waiting for your next drink the next day.
Yeah.
That just feels like just dying but slower.
And I've said, like, I get, and I've been in that situation for many years before this, like, you know, the last year, where I was working in jobs that I fucking hated, and I couldn't wait to get out of work.
Yes.
But the idea that they don't want to be out of work, they just want to be on the next night out. That's when it's like, oh, okay, you don't care about chilling out of an evening and, you know, sitting there with your partner or your family or whatever, and just watching a bit of TV and chilling out, or going for a jog or whatever like that. All you care about is being absolutely hammered at 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
And that's the moment. It's like the people that you bump into on nights out, like that you went to school with, and you just look at them and you go, what the fuck happened to you? Whether you look at them and go, like, you look 10 years older than I do. And I know we're the same age, because I know we're in the same class.
Yeah, and there's times when I go like, ooh, you know, I'm starting to look a bit old.
Oh yeah, I'm aging.
And then I go,
look at all these.
Yeah, like we are all aging, obviously. But...
Do you know what these are right here, mate? This is the fucking comment section right here, buried in my fucking skull.
And then there's times when I go, oh man, I look rough for nearly 30, because I'm like 29, and then I look at other people who I say, like, I went to school or something, it's like, well, it could be worse.
Yeah, it is. You look at them and go, fucking hell. Father Time took a bat to that one.
God. And, like, obviously a lot of time, you know, it's not just the fact that they're not looking after themselves, I get it, but yeah, sometimes you gotta, like, at least I've got a full head of hair. So far. Oh, yeah. Fingers crossed another 10 years I can get out of this.
Well, that's the thing, like, you've got, I like to say that my primary motivator in life is spite. My primary motivator for most things is spite. And one of the reasons I like, or I am, one of the things that keeps me going, especially when I feel like, oh man, do I really want to do it? So yeah, because there are people out there who hate me, and they hate me because they ain't me, and that gets me going. That's how you do it. They hate us because they ain't us. You've got to do it. It's the primary motivator for most of my life. But I feel like, we've had a pretty good discussion here, and I've been looking at the time now, and it's an hour and 20 minutes of the podcast. So for people in my chat, I know you're in there. I can see you. I can see your numbers. You've been like, slightly chatting away. But for you guys, if you'd like to ask some questions, we're going to do Q&A in a few minutes. And if you put ! Lucas, you can find Lucas's chat as well.
Hell yeah.
Lucas will be reading out some questions. I'll read out some questions. We're going to do this in a few minutes. But before then, Lucas, anything you'd like to plug?
Anything I would like to plug? Well,
Yeah.
Karl, I will do, my usual weekly plug. Have you heard it many a time if you're a long-time listener?
Remind me.
It is that you can find me doing gaming things on both YouTube and here on Twitch at Legend of Kanto.
Okay, and for me, just Karl Smallwood. Google it, you'll find me.
There we go. And I will specifically plug as well the fact that, if you go to my YouTube right now, again, at Legend of Kanto, you can watch a 20-minute video of me and Karl experiencing the world of Balan Wonderland.
Oh man, I watched that.
Wonderworld?
I was
Wonderland,
whatever the fuck it is. But I was like, the fuck? Because I remember it being bad.
Yeah.
I remember it being bad. And I watched it and went, oh my, I forgot that they were, one, charging $60 for this, and two, they describe it as the pinnacle of Square Enix RPG storytelling.
Yeah.
That game is fucking horrendous.
Do not play it. Against the Storm, Karl.
Do not play it. Do not play that game.
You need to, I played 10 seconds of that game before I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah,
Nobody should be buying this.
Do not buy it. Do not support that level of laziness. And so I wanted to talk about, I guess, what people are filtering to ask their questions, which we'll get to in a moment, is just, have you seen this game reverse review bombed?
Yeah, you briefly mentioned that to me, and I looked it up, and the first thing that I found when
that's what I wanted to do, actually, yeah.
World,
we could do that now.
Balan Wonderworld is just an article going, Balan Wonderworld is getting a lot of 10 out of 10 user review scores. What is going on?
Yes. So, if people don't know, Balan Wonderworld is a fucking god-awful piece of shit game.
Mm-hmm.
That, yeah.
Came out a few days ago, and it's made by, Balan Company and published by Sega, I believe.
Yeah, and it's made by the guy who made Sonic, or created Sonic, and some other chuckle fucker should be embarrassed to put his name on it. And the game is god-awful. And the thing that makes it worse is, it's so lazy.
Yeah.
It is just recycled shitty Sonic OCs.
And as well, you have one button in the game.
Yeah, there is one button.
You might as well have one button in the game, because you have a single action for your character, and it's jump, and then whenever you pick up, essentially a power-up, that jump gets replaced with one other single ability. And you have, the A, B, X, and Y, and the two triggers all do that one action. That's how,
jump.
Little there is to the game.
Yeah, there is more gameplay in fucking Skylanders, which is for literal baby children.
Skylanders, yeah.
And I have now in front of me just the reviews of Balan Wonderworld on Metacritic. These are user reviews, and these are the Xbox reviews, but obviously they'll be reminiscent of, they'll be reflective, of reviews for the consoles. 10 out of 10. This game is practically awesome and easy must-have. Played and adored this masterpiece. And for the visual watchers, you can just see Lucas's face as he's trying not to laugh at this. The most memorable platform game ever made, a wonderful game to play every single day, even in co-op, would recommend to all platform gamers. 10 out of 10, definitely an incredibly good platform game, a joyful and colourful game to experience, I can easily recommend. If you are looking for a good and original platform game, this is exactly what you should play. It may be a little strange to say, but this type of platform game can evolve dramatically when you're going on with your journey. I can safely recommend it. An incredible and beautiful journey to explore with multiple amazing worlds. In this aspect, this game shines with great art design, a joy to experience. Surely the best platform game made for a Switch. Also, ignore...
Mario Odyssey exists!
On the Switch. I also suggest to ignore the ridiculous negative reviews. They are made by crybabies that don't even try to play this. This is what I love about it. It's salty Sonic fanboys who are they can't accept that the guy who made Sonic 06 made a bad game.
Hmm.
Balan Wonderworld is a wonderful game. The kind of game that leads something to the player. A nice platform with an honest, cool theme. Absolutely play it. Don't listen to the negative.
Deluded.
There's no other word for it.
Deluded.
Don't listen to the negative reviews here because all the people who don't even play this game. This game is actually a good platform game. I should note that as well. A lot of these reviews were posted for this before the game was officially available for release.
Of course, yeah.
So, but don't listen to the reviews from people who've not played the game. Listen to my review, posted before the game was able.
Is there like critic score on there yet?
The critic score is Balan Wonderworld. Critic score, no score yet, based on because they need a 4th review. There are only 3 reviews, but 3 reviews so far are 3 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10. So that would average out at about 2.7 out of 10. The average user score is 7.6 out of 10. Every positive review is a 10 out of 10, and every negative review is a 0 out of 10. Because you know what? That's what user scores are.
Yeah, that is what user scores are.
Yeah, but here we go. Interesting and entertaining platform game. I've especially enjoyed a lot of the late sessions of the game and the adorable CG cutscenes. One of the best games I've ever played. Amazing and fun with awesome gameplay and incredible designs. Absolutely gorgeous game.
I actually experienced a little bit of this not long ago. I went to check out Resident Evil 3 on sale, the remake for it. And the amount of reviews that were 0 stars, I love Resident Evil, but this game only took me 6 hours to complete. Absolute waste of fucking money. This is trash.
Or 10 out of 10. That's why
to be fair, there were very few 5-star reviews on the Xbox. A lot of people were going this is the worst fucking thing ever. Or there was people going, 4 out of 5, this game's great, I love Resident Evil, it's a bit short.
Yeah, because usually with user reviews, and it's why they're basically valueless, it's either 10 out of 10 or 0 out of 10, there's no nuance. It's either the best thing I've ever played or it's a god-awful piece of shit. And that reminds me of the best review of anything I've ever read, which is when I was trying to get the More 4 app for my Xbox, and that app is terrible. And I tried to download it and then uninstalled it immediately because it's just full of ads. But I went to the review thing because I noticed it had 2-star reviews out of 500 reviews, and just the number 1 review on the Xbox app download place with 400 pluses of 400 people recommending it is just 1 star, and it reads below wank app. That's that's all you need. 1 star wank app done.
I agree with that verdict.
Fantastic, just fantastic. A revolutionary platform game. Easily one of the best games I've played all this year. I'm really happy to express my modest opinion regarding this already controversial game. They gave it a 10 out of 10. Their modest opinion. I'm happy to say this game is amazingly good. Reminds me of old school platform games. You mean bad. And if you do like the platform genre, you should give this a try.
You know what it does remind me of, Karl? Those awful platformers that hadn't figured out 3D yet.
Yeah. Literally the best platformer I've ever played on Switch.
It's HD Bubsy 3D. That's what shit's going on there.
The game is the most wonderful and fun platform game I've ever played. Maybe this game isn't perfect. 10 out of 10. They started with maybe it's not perfect, but they gave it a perfect 10 out of 10. Literally a pure joy to play. This kind of game
should be... It's not perfect score.
I'll hugely love this wonderful Wonderworld. A truly unique game. I like it, especially the wonderful soundtrack and beautiful worlds created. What really shines here is the great level design. Good work, Square Enix. This is a remarkable game. LOL, who doesn't even try to play the full game? How much are the desperate haters these days? This game is much better than many of the ridiculous platformers today by Krill and Phil, 10 out of 10, posted on March 28th. You know what? Yeah, fair enough. 10 out of 10 OST, 10 out of 10 level design, 10 out of 10 art. I love the whole message being given by this game.
To clarify for anyone that isn't aware, Karl and I didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah, we could not follow the story at all.
There is a story. It was just a weird vignette at the end, and then a man turned into a giant wolf dragon.
Now we have one here.
For an inexplicable reason.
There's a review here from Jiren, so I'm inclined to believe him, because Jiren the Grey. I suggest to give this game a try, because it's a hidden gem of the platform genre. To the point where they can't even get people to review it. It's so bad, people aren't even reviewing it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's giving it publicity, isn't it?
Yeah, the most shiny and original platform game in the last 10 years. Mario Odyssey came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Balan Wonderworld is a must-play game, an absolute gem. Literally the most beautiful platform game ever made. Everybody should play this incredible game.
Please no. Please nobody.
The best game I've
play
played
the game.
this gen.
And there is a demo on Nintendo Switch, so presumably other other platforms. If you are genuinely like hearing any of this and still want to try the game,
go play the
just play the demo for free. Never give these people money.
And then, or go watch like Lucas's video of like we're completely baffled by it. The funniest and cutest platformer I've ever played. The simple mechanics of the different costumes make it a constant evolution. Multiple different approaches to all the levels of the game. This is a fun game. Would recommend over many often overrated AAA video games. 9 hours in, and I'm yet to have my first seizure. 10 out of 10. I love that.
Yeah, because
the game.
Just to clarify, before the day one patch, there was seizure-inducing effects at the final boss. So that's why they didn't get a seizure up to that point. It was specifically in the final boss. At certain points, there would be just rapid, like, flashing bright lights on your screen.
Also,
and apparently it's been solved in a day one patch.
But how low are your fucking standards where a game doesn't give you a seizure?
Yeah. But that's clearly, like, that person commenting going, I've got you, you, like, gacha journalist. There's no seizure-inducing effects in this game.
Literally.
Presumably because you downloaded a day one patch and didn't get to the final boss yet anyway.
Literally the most beautiful platform game ever. If you are seriously searching for a colourful and finely original platform game inspired by the classics, you should definitely buy Balan Wonderworld.
Or just go get Mario Odyssey.
Original and interesting game with a powerful theme. This is basically the best kind of platformer that anyone can ever even remotely ask for. Magnificent platform design mixed with phenomenal gameplay.
And this is the level of people that you're dealing with when it comes to Sonic fans.
We have one here, a 10 out of 10 from Balan Fan 69. This may be the best game of all time. I really don't have high expectations for this game. I thought it's just another platform that's just like Mario trash. Nothing like the good games like Cyberpunk. I think that one might be sarcastic.
Maybe.
Then we have some of the 0-star reviews of final boss nearly killed me, and I'm not talking about in-game.
Oh, God.
This game is a dumpster fire.
It is.
As far as an overpriced bad games go, this is the highest in recent memory. Do not trust these positive reviews. This game is garbage. Yeah, so the negative ones are actually like, usually the negative ones are just like, no, fuck it. They put a woman or a black person in it. I hate it. Like, that's the rare time or situation where a 0-star review is actually giving you more honesty.
Yeah.
That's
sure.
Balan Wonderworld, the game we review now. But I think we had enough time, so one more time, I'll let people... I've got to reach over my fucking bullshit here to type for Lucas so people can see. Then Lucas. I love how Nightbot does this for me. So there we go. So if people want to go like ask some questions in Lucas' chat, I'll go through mine. So let's have a quick look now.
So pop any questions in my chat. Feel free.
Yeah. The thing is, though, no one's like asked any questions yet, so good for them. That means it's easier for us. It means we can leave earlier. Like one guy asked a question. Someone has Asian friends. Are you worried about the increasing violence against them? Yeah. What stupid fucking... Are you worried about people you know being hurt by morons? Yes. What an awful...
Regardless of whether they're my friends or not.
I still care. What an awful question.
I mean, shout out to that granny that like beat the crap out of her attacker.
Fucking too right.
Yeah.
But like, just what an awful question. Are you worried? Yeah, of course I am, because I've got empathy and I'm a human. Yeah. If I wasn't, that would be like, something worth noting. Like, here's the thing, just assume I have empathy for others.
Mm-hmm.
Just the thing, will you do a video on Invincible? I don't do requests. So, yeah.
I watched like a few clips of that and just was like, I've heard good things, but it felt quite flat and like the animation just kind of lacked any oomph.
Yeah, something
similar. From what I saw anyway, I'm gonna eventually like watch a bit of it. Yeah. But
it's on my list. Like Charlie rates it quite highly, and I trust his opinion on that sort of thing. But it's like there was that new Pacific Rim cartoon out, and I watched like 5 minutes of it and went, the reason I like Pacific Rim is not because of the great characters, it's because it's giant fucking robots fighting monsters.
Yeah,
and
totally.
You've kind of ruined that with this. It's that weird, shitty, like rotoscoped anime style.
Yeah.
It's like there was another one which was I think like Gods of something or other, where it's about ancient Greece, and all of the advertising stuff for it shows like do you like ancient Greek pottery, that kind of style, like black on like the yellowy pot. So it looks like
all
that.
of the musical parts of like Hercules.
Yes, exactly like that. Yeah, that's what a lot of the like trailers and stuff show. But the actual show itself is not that. It's just a generic, bad-looking anime that looks really cheaply made. I went, oh.
Of course, yeah. It's like, screw having unique art styles.
Yeah, I was mad hyped for one that like Greek pottery. So that's an interesting art style, and I'm really looking forward to see what they can do with this limited colour palette of just using black and red.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nope. Instead, it's boring as fuck. Just looks like anything else. Looks really cheaply made. So it would have been cheaper to make it with like the simple colour scheme, but at least it'd been visually striking. But who wants that, eh? We can fart it out for free, whatever. But yeah, I was excited about that one. But yeah, any questions in your chat, Lucas?
Yeah, this is one we get asked like in a different way quite a bit, and
every
like,
day.
Just things about drinking games, and like the one drinking game that I would recommend is just Mario Kart drinking game.
Mario Kart, yes.
Mario Kart, and it's just like people don't know what it is. It's the basic version of it is you have a drink. So say you have a cup of a drink, and you have to finish that drink before you finish the race. But and you can't drive and drink at the same time.
That's against the law.
It is. Well, it's against the law to also be drunk while you're driving.
But at the same time, this is Mario Kart.
Exactly. So, yeah, and there's extra rules where you can do it with, like, double dash if you have a friend who has double dash, where you can, like, the person in the back can drink, and then you can also go, like, full meta with it, where you have two people sat on chairs, like, in front and behind each other, and you have to swap when you swap, and there's extra shit you can add to it. But yeah, Mario Kart.
And there's a bunch of tactics to it as well, like just parking on the finish line and just downing your pint and then going across the finish line, or doing it before you start, and then you get all the best items. Now, there's a bunch of ways to do it, or like get a mushroom, press your mushroom, then take a sip. You're not driving, but you are boosting. Stuff like that. There's a bunch of like secret hidden tech to doing that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a super fun game. But for the most part, drinking games are just something that they're better when you just not experience them, but come up with them just over time, and they're based around like something like you have an interest in. Because like a drinking game that someone might find interesting might not work for another. And just if there's like a hobby or something that you like doing with friends, and alcohol is involved, maybe turn it into a drinking game if you're planning on trying to make it interesting.
Yeah, why not?
Like if you're playing cards or something like that, just like put a shot in the middle of the table.
So, yeah, it's like you were saying, what we might do if we can like all get together and play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just put a bottle of something in the middle, and whoever loses the Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle just has to do a shot.
Yeah, and then we have someone actually asking about it in my chat, which is, since the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card opening stream, will you guys play it for a stream? We will, when we're all able to meet up in person. There's no point doing it like this, because I feel the only reason I want to play cards is because it's that physical, tactile sensation of playing cards. It feels to me like a more personable thing that you do when you're sat across from somebody. It'd feel weird doing it over the internet.
It would, and I don't really get too hyped behind like online card games. I don't find that too exciting. But when I'm there in person and I can be like playing around with my cards and like, what do you think this one is called? Like, bam, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Like, fuck you.
And we could be like super dramatic. And the idea would be that we'd be super fucking dramatic, and we'd set it up like I'm going to go fucking ham. I want to get all the music and stuff like that playing in the background. It'd presumably be something we do at the Fiend office when we're able to get back there. And there are plans to try and potentially revamp the office to make it more conducive to streaming. Because at the moment, it just has like a couple of chairs in there and a TV, but like get proper actual streaming equipment and office space sorted.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Which will facilitate that. But there's no plans to play it on a stream for the foreseeable future until we're able to meet up in person. And then even then, it's going to be a couple months down the line. Easily. So there's not much we can do there. And then, any more questions in your chat? Because that was one for mine about Yu-Gi-Oh! The legend.
Yeah, someone was just asking simply what is the artwork behind me, and it is just a little picture here of Goku, like Dragon Ball original style Goku, like young Goku, just sitting on top of his house with like the red sun in the background and like a cherry blossom tree next to him.
Yeah, and behind me,
just a cool little one.
I'm not sure if this is showing up, like this little mouse. Oh yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's RoboCop. That's RoboCop just chilling. And then that's a painting of Spider-Man in front of my green screen that a friend of mine did. They've not signed it yet, the bastards. So if they ever become famous, I can't say it's an original. That's super gutting. I want him to sign it, so if they say it was an original,
Yeah.
and just be like, yeah, I can sell it for money. But yeah, that's the weirdest part is when I show stuff like that off. So I was like, oh, could I buy something similar to it? Why would? The reason I want like it is because it's unique to me. Why would I sell it, or why would they sell it?
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, can I have a copy of your personal artwork?
No.
Is that no? Because then it's not personal.
But yeah, there's no more questions in my chat, so I guess we can close it off there. But
I've got one more if you want to
go for it.
go for this one.
Yeah.
Just someone in chat asking, what's our favorite or least favorite thing about streaming?
My favorite thing about it is the immediacy.
Yes.
Streaming is it's immediate feedback, for better or worse, and because of that, it's also something that once you're done with streaming, you're done with streaming. Like when I turn the stream off and I turn everything off, that's it. I'm done. I don't have to think about it anymore. Whereas traditional recording, it's there is a bunch of extra stuff I have to do after that. There's always extra stuff that you have to do on top. It's whether it's editing or uploading it. So with streaming, it's just fire and forget, and I love that. That's your positive.
I like that. Like, I do enjoy that part of it, but I also think there's obviously the downside and the complete opposite end of it is, well, when I'm making a video, if I do something wrong, or if I'm editing Fat Fiend and we can edit out all those flood blinds and stuff, or something we don't want to put in the video, and we can add extra things, add extra elements, do it just in our own time and stuff. Whereas obviously with streaming, because we're not doing it with fucking producers and stuff on the back end, if you want to change anything, you have to do it there and then, just in front of a bunch of people, and you're there oh, I'm trying to figure it out, I'm trying to troubleshoot or add things or figure something out on the fly, and people are just watching you struggle with it.
Yeah, and people have probably heard me flub a couple of my lines so far, so yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I have noticed that even when you're podcasting or streaming, every now and then you get in that making a video mode of oh no, wait, I'll redo that line. And I get it, because obviously you have to do that for Fat Fiend, and that's a lot of your recording time.
And it's because as well I tend to just speak too quickly, so I like to slow down, try not to speak, and it's just a coping mechanism I found of just stopping to talk, so that I can catch up with myself and then say what I'm going to say, which I thought would help.
Yeah,
and then I guess the negative would just be the fact that it's because of the immediacy. The downside of that is that harassment and abuse is just directly in your eyeballs, and people know that, and that's why it's a lot more open, and just trolling and just people being huge penises. Because something that happened the other day is a good example of this, of just how difficult it actually is to just shield yourself from that. There was a dude, if you remember, Lucas, was just asking a question that I didn't want to answer. They were saying, do you have any recommendations? Look, and I tried to explain as nicely as I could. Look, I don't do recommendations for people. I don't know who you are, and I don't know your situation, and I don't want to recommend you something that then you come back at me and say that you didn't like it, or you spent money on something you didn't like, and it's just I'd rather just insulate myself from that, if you don't mind. And then they asked again, and then again, and then again, and then I got to the point where I said, look, mate, I've answered this a few times. I've been polite as I can. Stop fucking asking that question.
And you even had because obviously we can hear you responding to the question. Charlie and I both telling this person, look, mate, Karl's been polite about it. He clearly doesn't want to answer the question. Stop asking. And then we just heard you over and over again. Look, mate, I don't want to answer that question. And I've already explained myself and blah, blah, blah. And he just kept pushing and pushing.
Yeah. And then after I said that, they responded again of oh, you didn't understand what I was trying to say. It's now, just please stop talking. We're done with this now. And again, kept going. So I banned them from chat. And then a wonderful feature Twitch has is that once people are banned from chat, they can come back in and continue to they get that one last chance to talk to you. So then, even after I've told them, look, I don't want to talk about this anymore, they get to put a ban request in, or an unban request. They get one last chance to speak to you. I deny that request. And then this morning I checked, so I didn't realize I got this, they'd also sent me a DM to my account. So even after you ask someone not to talk to you, you 3 or 4 times directly to camera while they're listening, please stop doing this. And then you press the button that means they can no longer interact with you. They still have 2 more opportunities to do so. And that all happened like live on camera for people to see.
Yeah.
And that's just something I had to deal with live on camera. That's like a downside of the positive that I listed, I suppose.
And I think the positive for me would be like my favorite part of this is like the opposite side of when people are being positive, and like if you're getting a lot of people in chat, like if you're playing a game, like, oh, like you can do it, whatever, like people coming in saying how much they enjoyed the content, people
That's really nice,
just having an enjoyable conversation with you, and that's the nice part about it. And that's probably the reason we keep going, because it's not all just obviously people being assholes to us. There are a lot of people that come in and be lovely people.
But that's the thing of it's really difficult to tell a story about that when someone came in and said something nice, I like the channel or whatever.
It's not a specific instance that I can think of, but more just in general, it's a nice thing of like a lot of people come in and be positive, and
it's that
just enjoy stuff.
And it's that shame that the negative things tend to stick out more because they're negative. But
that's just kind of like human like
perception,
isn't it? I guess
it's human nature to just see the negative, but as well it makes it funny, and plus I get to monetize it now by turning it into something I mention on stream. But yeah, I think that's a good way to end it.
Nice, yeah.
Just if someone tells you to drop a subject, fucking drop that subject. It's not hard, is it?
It's really not.
And then we're still streaming, but I've stopped my recording for you, Lucas, and I'll get that exported for you. But for people who are still in chat, there's like another minute or so where we like to just like keep the stream going for that reason.
Yeah, we'll just keep things winding down for a moment.
To let people know, we will be streaming Borderlands in 2 hours ish.
In just over 2 hours, so it's like 20 to 9 now. We'll be back at like 11.
So if anyone's in chat and they want to join us again in a couple of hours, we'll be streaming some Borderlands 2 then to continue.
And I believe we're on like the last couple of missions of Borderlands.
We've said that every time we fucking start.
No, but I actually did check it.
Okay, you've checked for real.
I checked properly because I was like, oh my god, like there's way more to this game than I remembered.
There's so much Borderlands
left. I checked, and I think there's 2 missions left, but like big missions.
So we will presumably be completing the entire game tonight, so don't miss that. And that's why, if anyone wondering, we have like the Borderlands thing. On my screen anyway. For Lucas, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, mine doesn't have anything Borderlands related.
But that's why it's thing. That's how you could tune into mine or Lucas's. You get a different experience. You get the same audio, but different visuals, which is great.
Hell yeah.
So tune in then.